Most people try to optimize 10 habits instead of just fixing one that would give them the highest leverage. I have been tracking my progress for months and I have finally found out what is the exact thing that is silently killing everything. For you, it will not be something like your discipline, your motivation, or any of those factors. It will be something way more specific. It will be the exact thing that I'm going to tell you today. And once you apply it in your own life, you will see tremendous amount of progress like you have never seen before. I am Ankush and I teach you how to manage the distractions of the modern day and focus at the same time. So let's get started. So, what is this thing? This is what I call a keystone habit. A keystone habit in your life is the habit that is anchoring your entire life together. Whether it's the workout session you do in the morning, or the study session, or the late night social media scroll, or whatever it is, whatever the habit is, whether good or bad, and this is a very important point, that habit that I'm speaking about, as I call the keystone habit, it does not have to be good or bad necessarily. It is just an habit. It has evolved because of your day to day structural plan and behavioral routines. So, this habit of yours is the habit that is going to make or break you. It is not a new habit that you have to start implementing today. Like you see all of these people talking about do meditation for 5 minutes, do journaling for 5 minutes. It does not have to be something like that you incorporate from today. It is something that you have been already incorporating. Keep this in mind. You have been already doing this habit for a long time. If the habit is a bad one, then it is your current bottleneck. And if that habit is good, then you have to put your entire mental work power and physical labor to ensure that you do not miss the good habit. Because once you miss it, your entire day will be derailed. Because that's how important the keystone habit is. And sometimes, even just missing one day will make you start the roll, and the snowball effect will happen and your entire week will be wasted, and that will turn into an entire month worth of rut, and your entire life will be wasted in such chunks because you could not control one day of one habit. Now you might be thinking one habit is too small a thing to derail my entire life. Well, I will give you an example. When we think about time travel, we always say that we should not go and alter the past because that will change the future dramatically. Now, definitely, quantum mechanics and splitting aside, splitting of realities, that is, and if you're thinking linearly, then if one tiny thing in the past makes a huge change in the future, do not you think that doing something in the present will make a huge change in the future too? Because the current present is tomorrow's past. That should be quoted. Now I'll tell you my personal story of what my exact habit was and how I fixed it. So I had been doing this for months, and it's only recently that I properly fixed it. That is, so my keystone habit was a bad one, which is inherently harder to deal with, because if it's easy, you can just keep doing it, and if it is hard, my goodness, do you have to put in the mental work power to get rid of it. So my habit was late night dopaminergic content watching. And it's not particularly screen time, and I'll tell you why in a second. So I did this experiment on myself, like I am the guinea pig. What I did was, for some days, I watched the content and I slept. I slept at 1 p.m. because the content just never ended, to be honest, because YouTube is infinite, technically speaking. So what happened was, I woke up late at 9 a.m. Literal 9 a.m. So I generally wake up at 6 a.m. So it's like already 3 hours is wasted. And plus I wake up later, so I will already have a brain fog. So my entire day is derailed. I did the second experiment. In the second experiment, what I did was I slept at 11:30. I still kept the content, but I slept at 11:30. And after sleeping at 11:30, the crazy thing I found is, if I did not have any obligations, for example, school or particular some work or anything like that, I always woke up at 9 a.m. It was fixed. If content, then 9 a.m. It was like a macro function in my body. So what happened was, I tried it for a few days. I saw that I woke up at 9 a.m. and then I did the third experiment. By the way, if you are wondering about any alarm, then you can rest assured I just turned it off and went to sleep again. Before explaining the third experiment, I will quickly like to plug my focus course, which teaches you how to get rid of distractions of the modern day and focus at the same time. So what I did in experiment 3 was, instead of deleting the screen time entirely, I still had the screen time, but it was not any dopaminergic content like YouTube videos. Instead, it was a book. The brightness was set to the lowest possible. I read for 20, 30, or even 40 minutes in the initial days, because in the initial days my body was accustomed to sleep at 11:30, so I could not sleep earlier, and since my bedtime is 10:30, I read for like 40 minutes or an hour before falling asleep. So what happened surprisingly was, I woke up at 5:30 a.m. And it is partially thanks to the alarm, but also thanks to that fact that I do not have any mental brain power deloaded from me. I have my full mental capacity even at night. So when I woke up the next morning, it was not the me who wanted to turn off the alarm and go to sleep because his dopamine has not replenished. Instead, what I did was, I just woke up, I just turned off the alarm, and I just sat down and worked. And my goodness, were those like 14-hour work days. And I scrolled through them, like not distracting way, but in productive way. I scrolled through them very productively. And I'm happy with the results that I've gotten. So, all in all, to say, in all the 3 experiments, one variable at a time, I changed everything to see what actually is my problem. It sounds weird, but yeah, this is a problem. This is a genuine problem, because most of the people nowadays think only any kind of new hack, new productivity, new app, all of these things are going to change them. It is not. What will change you is actually changing some of the core habits that you do in your life. If you want to get fit, you can install 5 apps, right? Of course. But if you do not do the workout, you will not get fit. It is binary, it is not hexadecimal. My goodness, my videos are filled with references from computer science to physics to quantum mechanics to whatever else. Shout out to you, because you are understanding what I'm speaking about. And if you are actually understanding, then you better get your notes out and write all of this down. Go from the starting of the video, write down the important points, and fucking do some actionable stuff, right? This is not a video for entertainment, and I'm considering uploading a video and uploading my future videos in black and white, because color is also a very stimulating thing, and I'll talk about that in a later video. Now, about what you should do, there are 2 things. Number 1, if your habit is bad, and number 2, if your habit is good. I'll be starting with what you can do if your habit is bad, and you can skip to the good part. I will put the timestamps in the description of the video or the comments. You can skip directly if your habit is good. So, what you have to do is the following. As I said, my strategy was understand the data and see what works and what does not work. The main factor was changing one variable at a time. The step 1, the foremost step, is going to be identifying it. Write down the things that you think are potentially causing your downfall, which is the Keystone habits. And now that you have that list, you can start from the first one. Take the first habit, for example, watching social media at 4 p.m. exactly. That specificity is required. Now, take the habit and for 3 to 7 days, perform an experiment where you change one variable at a time in that Keystone habit. It might be watching at 5 p.m. instead of 4 p.m., not watching at all, or maybe turning on color filters to watch YouTube in black and white mode, or anything like that. Whatever comes to your mind and whatever reduces the bad habit, try to do it and see whether it actually makes any substantial progress in your journey or not. If in the 7 day the data shows that it does not make any progress or any significant progress, because definitely removing some bad habits will make some progress, but if it is not very significant, then it probably is not your Keystone habit. Now, 1 out of those 5 or 6 things are gone. Start with the second one. Now do it for the third one, and the fourth, and the fifth, or the sixth, and how many are there in your list. Do an experiment for each of the habits to see whether they are keystone or not. And once you find that they are keystone, try to eliminate them as fast as possible. Now, if your habit is related to content watching, what you can do is change the type of the content or the format of it. So initially, let's say you are watching Minecraft videos, which did not do anything in your life. You can start watching productivity videos. Now, productivity videos become a trap on their own. They become another Keystone habit. What you can do is scrap them and start reading books. Let's say fiction becomes another keystone habit, then you can eliminate that and do non-fiction, and so on and so forth until you reach a crossroad. A crossroad where you have two options. Option number one, delete that habit entirely. If the habit is very destructive, then you can absolutely delete it and try your hardest to eliminate it from all areas of your life. And number two, replacement by better. Replacement by better is what I did. I was watching YouTube, and instead of watching YouTube, I replaced it via books. And now I'm learning at the same time, and my dopamine levels are stabilized. And if you're having a good habit, first of all, congratulations. It takes a lot of work to get a good habit as a keystone habit. For me, it was a pseudo keystone habit, which was journaling. The day I journaled, I worked like crazy. And the day I did not journal, it was not absolute horrible work, but I could not perform to my best abilities. The day I journaled were my best days ever in terms of work and in terms of output. And I called it pseudo because the content watching late at night was very prominent as opposed to the journaling factor. So if you are having the good habit, try to preserve it at any cost. Schedule it in your calendar, schedule it anywhere, write it in front of your desk or whatever it is that you want to do. But make sure you do not miss your keystone habits. Missing good habits is already bad, and missing keystone good habits is very bad. So definitely do not feel guilty and go down that downward spiral of, oh, I missed one workout today, so tomorrow I am going to do two workouts, which is totally retarded, by the way. Do not do this. Try to anchor your habit as much as possible and do not miss it at any cost. Now, if you really want to get rid of all the modern distractions and improve your focus at the same time, so it is double benefit. First of all, you are reducing the distractions, and second of all, you are increasing the focus. If you really want to do that, go and check out the link in the description, which will take you to my focus course. And currently, it is on a pre-sale, so the price is half of what it will actually be once it gets released. And so, with that, as always, start if you haven't already.